we've talked about some dark stuff, but taking feedback from watchers and listeners, and something we talked about as well, actually. So it was nice that we're all on the same page. A little bit of positive news from out there with the movement and what's been occurring, and just in the world in general, because this type of stuff just doesn't get amplified as much because we're all like sort of gnashing with teeth and wailing, aren't we? So, first thing, just today, refuse workers in Eastbourne have won a 19% pay rise after strike action. Up the JMB, nice one. So, like, what I'd like to say to people is, as well, going forward, particularly now and the things we've been talking about, join a union. Through the union, it could be, it's particularly with certain ones like Sharon Graham, and I think that's Unite and whatever. They've decided that they're just going to, like, instead of going down the political route, they're going to just try and win things. And obviously, that 19%, it's 13% more than inflation's predicted to rise with this cost of living thing, which is 6%. So. I don't know what the lads and lasses doing the refuse work and we're on, but hopefully that like saves a few families. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's really good. That's really good news, and I would definitely, reiterate that in join a union. Mine have been really helpful. Even just kind of showing a bit like of solidarity when I really needed it. Kind of working in a sector that I can kind of be quite isolated in. And I know lots of people are on things like 0 hours contracts as well. They often don't know where they fit into a union. I'm a wobbly. I'm with the IWW, but it's really looking at what's best for you as a union as well, and not just joining one as well. It's actually organising within it and getting to know you. Even if you haven't joined a union, you can organise with your workmates. It's just about getting out there and doing it. And, especially if you've got a boss who tells you not to discuss your wages, that is normally a sign that you absolutely definitely have to discuss your wages with each other. Do it in whatever way is best for you at the time, but definitely unionize.
Yeah, I mean, I know obviously we've just been illustrated there, like money's tight, but it's really an investment as well, because if things go tits up and you can involve yourself in a collective situation. I mean, I've been in a situation where I'd slightly changed sectors in a previous job, had some trouble with my new employer, who I'll not get into it, but God, and I'd moved cities too, and I was between unions. So I'd rang the specific union up and they were like, she actually seemed to take some glee in it, this particular person. Sorry, can't help you. You should have been a member. I was literally like getting the forms and blah, blah, blah. So always be part of a union if you can. And I know at times in the past they've been ineffective, they have, but I really do see a groundswell coming up, like grassroots organising, and it's really great to see. So
and there are definitely unions out there as well who will help you from the first day that you sign up, and they'll do as much as they can. And I was really proud, particularly when some people were really in quite serious hardship at the start of the pandemic. I was really proud of the way that my union stepped up to help its members as well. And that's why, even though I didn't have to access that at the time, that is why I'll keep paying my dues. Like, absolutely, it was a beautiful thing.
Cool in the gang. Nice one. Next one. And this is something I sent to one of our friends yesterday. New Scientist magazine. Strongest evidence yet that MS is caused by the Epstein-Barr virus. A huge study of US military personnel suggests that almost all cases of multiple sclerosis are triggered by the common Epstein-Barr virus, meaning a vaccine could largely eradicate the condition. Now, this speaks to the mRNA vaccines, and obviously the technology's advanced like exponentially since the start of the pandemic, because there was billions upon billions upon billions of like research and development money put into it, simply because like capitalism had to protect itself. So that's what happened, and also that they made a hell of a lot of bloody money out of it as well. So that technology, the mRNA stuff, is now being used in other areas of research. And the reason they used the US military personnel is they needed a huge sample size to like work out whether these things could potentially work. And US military personnel, they get blood tested like really frequently over a long period of time. So they got access to all of that blood work. And this is what they found out. So they've linked that with all of the exponential growth with mRNA. So for people like our friend and many others with MS, it's not just a preventative thing from what I read. They're thinking that it could actually help people who've had it. And I spoke to our friend yesterday, and she's had it for 10 years. She was diagnosed 10 years ago. So she was really
Right, yeah.
happy to hear it, and we had a bit of a chat about it. It was nice.
No,
So
that's good. I know a few people who are living with MS as well, and it's just one of, you know, that and other conditions, you know, like motor neurone as well. It's good to hear things like this, because a lot of these conditions they often don't know a great deal about, and then when they start understanding it a bit more, you just think, yes, that's good. Like you feel like actually getting somewhere, because you know, with some it's just, you know, having one breakthrough like this is a really big deal. Because it leads to lots of other really good things as well, where you can just have no hope for a lot of people, and things that you like motor neurone as well. But there's been loads of stuff about, you know, about that, new drugs coming out on the market as well. So yeah, no, that's good to hear.
it's great, and I really hope that because of all of the research and development money that did go into mRNA, it actually like helps many more people around the world, and give me a bit of hope. Like obviously on a personal level, because we love our friend, don't we? And I'm
Absolutely.
sure that's repeated millions of times around the world. So last bit of positive news. Britain's longest married couple celebrate their 81st anniversary. Ron and Joyce Bond, married in 1941, and said it was love at first sight. You can see that like on the left there, he's giving a right smooch back in the old war days. The fingering days as well, what Mike. Big Ron there. Big Ron still got it on the right now, hasn't he?
I actually saw this. I thought that and they were absolutely lovely. It was a proper like feel good story, really. I liked it. I like apparently when they got married, like there was people saying it's not gonna last, and they're like, you know, they're both over 100 now. No, that's absolutely lush. That, yeah,
Just a lovely thing, isn't it? And I mean, my grandparents, they all of them died by the time I was 8 years old. I mean, like, by no means was like grew up in poverty. I always had a safe place to sleep and eat and whatever. But I grew up in a council house in the 1980s with single glazing, so there was like ice in winter on the inside of the windows and things like
yes,
that. You know,
man.
yeah, man. So like, but my brother, when they lived in the house before, for the first few years of his life, they still had an outside toilet. So if you think about like what my grandparents like had to go through. So my point is, I've never really learned about this stuff. So whenever I see things like this, it just like gives us a nice warm feeling. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like really happy for them, and just hopefully he's still on the finger, you know. I promise you I didn't do all that like lovely preamble just to get to the fingering joke, but there you go. I can't help it. I'm a wrong'un.
You are. Look how lovely they are, man.
Oh, they're lush, man, aren't they? Just look at them, man. Like, live long and prosper, my friends. That's all I've got to say. I love older people, man. I really do. Like, I think like all this like boomer chat and all of that, it does a disservice to a lot of really good people. We don't want to collectivize them all the same. I mean, look, bad people are bad people, like whatever age group or whatever sector of society they're in. And let's have it right. I mean, a lot of people of like the older age groups that haven't grown up in the internet era. So without being disrespectful, they're a bit more gullible than other people, you know. So we'll come on to that. Actually, we'll do a bit on that about like sort of how people are like being like having their heads mashed up by bastards on the internet and how it's affected society. I think that's a good piece for a future episode. You reckon?
Yeah, definitely.
Defo, mate. So that is episode 2 of the Cow Daily live stream. Thanks to Zoe Quick. Really love talking to Zoe. She's a lovely person, isn't she?
Yeah, that was
and
lovely.
She's out there fighting for us all and our rights, and that's a beautiful thing. Yourself as well, Alice. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Pleasure to have you as a friend as ever. And what I'd like to do, just on the positive theme, actually, before we do that, stick a little banner out. Please do go to the YouTube channel. I know I keep harping on about it, and I will be for a long time.
Yeah,
I think we're on something like 1,600 subscribers, and we've just started like uploading and using it and that. And thanks to everybody who's done that and subscribed. People have been telling us they've been going on with like, they've got like alt accounts. They've got like 3 or 4 YouTube channels. They've been clicking on it and like we never asked them to. Really cool. Shouts to Cooler and that. If you want any of your dubstep and 140 BPMs, he's your kid. Follow him. He was kind enough to do that for us and other people too. So please go to the YouTube channel if you want to get part of the revolution, then get involved in the MTC private chat forum. And you can do that by getting instant access by signing up as a Milk the Cow patron at patreon.com/Cow Daily. That will help us evolve this. It will help us bring more people into edit to do all of the things that you need to do, because we are taking this seriously. This is the inception of an independent media organization, and we want to try and do good faith media. We're going to use the money to be regulated by Impress, which is to a higher standard than the mainstream media, which are regulated by IPSO, and also join as individuals the National Union of Journalists. All that costs money, of course, and we welcome that regulation. We want to be regulated. We want to demonstrate very clearly when the attacks come, and they will, that we've been regulated independently, quite frankly. So there you bloody well go. Thanks for all your comments as well. There was one that I actually do want to show. It was just in reference to what I was talking about. Like Paul Veronica here, he's from Belfast. 2 seconds. Touts get shot. For those who don't know what touts are, it's that's a grass in Belfast. You can see it written on walls by some people. Shouts to Paul as well. Paul's one of the initial patrons. Thanks very much, mate. I really appreciate your kindness and your positivity, mate. All the best. So, as I said, just in line with all the positive stuff, I'd really like to play you out with something that did give us a bit of hope, and it did give us a good feeling. And I absolutely love this bloke unrepentantly. It's got nothing to do with cult and all this other bollocks that centrists want to spout. I just like him as a bloke, as a gadgie. He's a good man. And this is the big lad himself, Jeremy Corbyn, and he's at the Kill the Bill at the weekend. Thanks, Alice. All the best, and thanks for everybody who's been out there. From next week, hopefully, we'll be getting the audio stuff out. I'm just learning how to edit audio now, so just bear with us. But like I say, if you want to become a patron, we can get this stuff out quicker because we've got editors waiting in the breach. So happy days. Love to all. Here's the big lad, Corbster. Corbster, love it being part of Corbyn's cult. Bye, bye now, bye. Bye. Oh, he's lush.
To be strong and thoughtful and confident enough to recognise that all over the world, young people have all the hopes, the enthusiasm, the imagination, the art, the music, the ideas, the science, the maths, and all the other things. They have that sense of determination, and they do not want to live in a divided, racist society. They support Black Lives Matter because it challenges that colonial history. They do not want to live in a world where we're perpetually about to go to war with somebody for something or other. Instead, they want to live in a world of peace where those resources can go for education, for health, for housing, for environmental sustainability, rather than war. And so, I finished because I've got a real serious look from Auntie down here. And I just finished by saying this. Thank you, because a protest, a demonstration gives people hope, gives people an opportunity, and gives us that dream of what a better world will be. This square, this place has been the centre of protest. The suffragettes were here, the Chartists were here, and so many others were here. They're the ones that gave us what we've got. It's up to us to give the next generation what they haven't yet got, what we haven't got, but what we want them to have. Thank you very much.